Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to Kids Community Connections. I'm Phyllis Jones, your host, and you know what? The person I most admire in life, and I strive to be her, is Angela Davis. Even though she got me kicked out of school for a couple of days. But it's okay. I forgive her for that. I shouldn't have did it anyway. But then again, looking back, yes, I should have. But anyway, I have two guests. One of my guests this is the first time being at the Temple Station. It's hilarious. But anyway, my other guest, he's been on here a couple times before. So I'm going to introduce my guests because I'm going to talk about them, both of them, and I can get away with it. My one guest is Steve Johnson. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Miss Phyllis. How you doing this morning?
Really good. Steve laughing because he's like, what is she going to get? What's she going to do? But Steve is a good friend of mine. We started, I don't know how I met Steve, but I think it's when he was president of Rocks.
Yes.
What he was doing was bringing Rocks out. You know, like more out in the community. What he was doing, and also we needed to learn what it was because I had no clue. But that's how I met Steve, and we've been like community people ever since then. And then I have my other guest is Terry Mustafa. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
I'm gonna bust Terry out.
Nothing but
Terry,
love.
I met Terry when I was president of NAACP, and he accidentally wanted something to do. He didn't think that, it would be still today. I caused Terry to buy suits. When I was president, the men had to buy suits, and why I'm saying they didn't have suits is just that I am a community person, and my expectations were high. But anyway, he did it. He's all right. Okay, so before I talk to why they're here I am kind of upset. Steve.
Yes, ma'am.
Terry.
Yes.
You all want our young black men to look up to you, correct?
Definitely.
Most definitely.
And you there to support them, correct?
Yes.
You want to be if they're willing to listen.
Yes. And when there's something going on with them, and the guidance is needed for you all to step up to the plate, do you all step up to the plate or do you not?
If we know about it, we do I'll speak for myself. I won't say we.
Right.
When I know about it and it's something that I have ability to address, yes.
Okay, Terry.
Likewise, if I know about it, I gotta say something and or be there.
Okay, well now, here I go. Y'all ready?
Uh-oh.
Okay, here I am. We are at the end of our legislative agenda. I don't know if everybody knows, but we're at the end of it because our legislators, remember, they only go in session till the end of May. Then after that, they get to chill a little bit. But and all the bills that had to do with us, somehow or another, we didn't do nothing because every bill that we had that was for us, we just left and let it go. But my biggest concern was particularly one bill. Well, it was more than one, but it was one that I was like, no, we can't let it go. You see, our young men are being tackled in Texas about their hair. They want to wear their hair culturally. All right, culturally, our hair is different. Our hair is different textures, and we wear our hair different styles. So our young men in Texas are being attacked, and they're being attacked in other states. But we're going to talk about Texas. And the Texas bill was called the Crown Act. And our Texas Black Legislative Caucus members, actually Sophronia Thompson, created a bill, for that. And like I said, it was called the Crown Act. I talked about it on the radio, I talked about it on Facebook, I talked about it to everybody because I think that was when our black men were supposed to stand up and let our young boys know, hey, I got you. I got you on that. But guess what? They didn't have them. The bill failed. It died. So, Steve, what happened? Steve, like, God dog, you would have came up with that one.
You came up with that one, and we actually, in the last week or so, we did kind of brush on that topic.
Right.
Why did it die? There was not enough effort put out by our organizations, and when I say our organization, African American organizations, or people who understand the need for our young people to have this passed. There wasn't enough effort. I guess we said, hey, we did enough. We got a Democrat elected. But we kind of sat back on our laurels and did not know one, how to promote or get out and get our legislative members to, hey, you need to vote for this. You need to vote for this. We didn't know. I would say that goes for a whole, for all things that are all bills.
Right.
We don't know how to get our legislators to, hey, you need to vote for this. We hear jamming up the phones, jamming up their fax lines and stuff like that. But, oh yeah, I'll call. Oh, well, I'm at work. Oh, I didn't do it. And days go by. Or like you said one time, signing petitions is good. But it'd be better if you write a letter.
Right.
Or come up with a skeleton letter that you can send out, and everybody sends that individual letter. And when you have to roll in a wheelbarrow, chances are that bill will be addressed.
Yes, fast. Yes, Terry, what happened? See, the reason why I'm doing this, Steve's an alpha, and I have much respect for alphas, and the alphas do the MLK Oratorical every year, and the two young men who came on my show who won have hairstyles that the school districts across Texas will suspend them for. And that's why I went to the alphas, and not just alphas, it'll be omegas and all of them. And Terry, you are a Masonic, and you belong to the VFW. Did y'all sleep too?
I won't say. Yes, we slept. Yes, we let them down. The information, like Steve said, the information flow, what's going on, who, when, where, didn't properly get disseminated to those that needed to know, or out totally, so we could spread the word or show up at the state capitol, contact our legislators, etc.
Okay,
If we're going to jump in on that.
Sure, yeah.
The flow of information. We heard about the Crown Act. We knew a legislative bill was out there.
Correct.
But understanding, like you said, we're coming at the end of the session right now.
Right.
So we should have been pushing this back in, December?
Yes.
Or immediately after the last national election, kept that steamroll
Momentum.
going.
Right.
And had we understood the information then, hey, you need to be writing to Congressman about this Crown Act right now. And now all of a sudden we find out that in April, hey, it didn't pass.
No.
And it's like, oh, okay, we knew it was out there, but we thought it was going to be voted on sort of like in November.
Okay, and you know what? Some of that I'll say yes to, but the other part about it is sometimes we wait for other people to bring us the news. We do. We will sit there. Oh, they didn't tell me. Mm-hmm. She didn't tell me. He didn't tell. Well, I sat there in the meeting. They ain't said nothing about it. No. This is, we're supposed to be progress from that. And what I mean that is, back in the days of slavery, there was one person who brought us the news. There was. And then as we went from slavery to on, the church brought you the news. You went to church, the pastor said, hey, listen, next week we're going to be at the Capitol and we're going to be there for this. And you were there. You were there. Okay, well, now churches have changed. That's not what they do anymore. They don't want to get in that anymore because of financial reasons and other reasons. Then we have organizations that are supposed to be with it, but you know what? They're not either. So sometimes we got to take it upon ourselves. So I'm going to give you a quick thing, and then we're going to move on as this. Yes, the bill failed. But guess what, guys? You are on Monday, let's just say Monday. I'm not saying Monday, but let's just use Monday as a day. The guys could put out a word. And I'm saying men because our young men need to see the men fight for this one. It's not too late to change it. Even though it did die, you can still change it. So men might do a rally there at the Capitol on a Saturday, since most of us work. Men can host a rally at the Capitol and demand change. Did you all know that? And you can. Y'all can have a men's day at the Capitol for the Crown Act. I'm just using that as a for instance, and have a rally at the Capitol. Do you know what it would look like if about 500 black men stood at the Capitol? First of all, do you know the fear it would cause? You know the what are they doing would cause, and you got a bunch of, and then what's going on? That would cause a big change. Things like that needs to happen. You see, when we see a bill and you hear about the bill, track it and follow it. And contact one of your Black Legislative Caucus members and tag them. What I mean by tagging them, follow them on Facebook, follow them on whatever, follow them, and you'll find out when these bills are coming up. They did hold some rallies, and they always do. And also, I don't know if you know, but you have a right to hold a press conference inside the Capitol. Just contact somebody and tell them you need to have one. But those are the things that we do need to now know how to do. Because the George Floyd Act, it got sent back to committee. Well, guess what? If I'm a legislator and I want to tiptoe, I don't want to vote yes, I don't want to vote no, I can vote to send it back to committee. And you know who could get it out of committee? We can, by simply making I don't know how many phone calls and say, hey, I want this out of committee. And it will come out of committee and hit the floor. So that one bill, I want our men to come together and fix it. Because our young boys don't need to be, they have strikes against them already. They don't need another strike against them simply because they're hair. For real. Hair. Hair has nothing to do with my brain. It has nothing to do with I'm going to learn. And it has nothing to do with nothing. So I want to see soon the Alphas, Omegas, and all the other fraternities, and the Masons and the VFWs. I want to see something. I want to see movement. Even if we just do it in the city of Killeen. Because wait, has this happened in Killeen? Yes. We had a young man at a fast food restaurant. Guess what? He was the shift manager. But the regional manager found out he had locks and fired him. Now, mind you, he had a job, but he got fired. Oh, he got fired. And I helped him out a little bit. Helped him get another job, but helped him out. So has it happened here? Yes. It happened in Belton with a little girl. She had a faux hawk. And if you don't know what a faux hawk is, it's her. She had a mohawk, but her had puff balls all the way down. That's a faux hawk. She got sent into ISS for that, and she had some more days until we looked at the handbook, and the handbook was written in 1970, so the school hadn't even been built yet. They used the handbook they had from another campus. We fought that one, so, put her back in class. So, yes, it has happened in our area. So we need to wake up, and, the shackles on your feet that make you shuffle, take them off.
I agree with you, Ms. Phyllis. I really do. And as a member of the NAACP,
yes,
I did not see anything from the local chapter or receive anything stating that what we could do.
Right. Right.
Even from a state level, I didn't see that being pushed hard either. So I would say all organizations, not just men, but these broader organizations that can reach out to the smaller communities as well, should be pushing as well.
That's true. You're right. You're exactly right. I am a lifetime member of the NAACP, and I'm also a state chair. And I will say, from the perspective of our state, the only rally that we actually were part of was the one for the George Floyd Act. And that's because Ron Reynolds, we should get to know that man because he's tough. He's one of the legislators. He's not ours, but he's tough. He don't play. He be like out there, but he wanted us part of a rally. And that actually was the one rally we were part of. No, I'll take that back. We're part of the other rally, too, that passed that, says we cannot talk about racism in school. We held a rally for that one because, that's education. I wasn't playing. Like, why? Hold on. That means we can't even discuss slavery in school anymore starting September. So, yes, you're right. We didn't, and we all need to do better. But we can start today.
Yes.
Today I'm going to challenge you. Go to Black Legislative Caucus on Facebook. Whoa. Just go to Black Legislative Caucus on Facebook. And you will be like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. You'll be going to class all over again. It is not boring. It is very much energetic. And you will find out so much. So I'm going to task you today. Just go to the Facebook page. Pick one of them. And email one of them and say, hey, listen, I want to follow you. That's all you got to say. And they will make sure that you are up to date every day. You will get emails every day. You will get them. Come to this is going on. You'll be so informed until you're going to wonder what the heck was going on before then. So That's all I want you to do today is just that. Just follow them, get to know who they are, and learn that we can hold a rally. Okay, so let's move on.
All right.
And we need to rally. I like rallying. That's fine. But anyway, and shortly, wait a minute. I got another minute of this. The person that we voted for in District 54, I need you to know that as much as he was with us, I mean, he was hanging with black folks so much, I expected face paint. Anyway, he either voted no or put everything back in committee that mattered to us. So all of you who wore his T-shirt, got paid this money, dropped in the bucket, seen him everywhere, how you doing, smiling and grinning, he voted for most of the things to go back in committee, or he voted no. So put your shackles on if you voted for him and look like us. Because he did a job on everybody who did that. And you know what kind of job I'm talking about. So, yeah, call him out. I don't care. So let's move on. Okay, June.
The month of June, yes.
The month of June is Men's Health Month. And the reason Steve and Terry are here, they're going to talk about an event. And I know you all might say, why do we need Men's Health Month? Well, from the women's side of looking at this, the reason we need Men's Health Month, our men at one time, and some are still now, were held to another standard of you got to work and support the family no matter what. If you got to drag your one leg in, you better be there to support the family. Men couldn't be sick. Just like at a time women couldn't be sick. But men couldn't, they can't have an illness. They're men. You know, they're invincible. They work till they die. They died working. You know, so they didn't talk about their health, and neither did we. We ain't care. Boy, get out there and get the job done. My back hurt. Your back don't hurt. You a man. Get on out there. And men felt that, and that's how they lived. So, Steve, talk to us.
Well, we know June is Men's Health Month, a national observance used to raise the awareness about health care for men and focus on engaging boys, men, and their families in the practice of implementing healthy living and decisions. The biggest reason that we're planning on having a men's health program on June the 5th from 9 to 3 a.m., from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the VFW in Harker Heights on VFW Post 3892. The Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha, along with the VFW, are trying to encourage men to think about their health during Men's Health Month. We should be thinking about it daily, but we want to try to focus on things that we can do. And I wrote down some notes that I'm going to be sharing. You hear me shuffling some papers, but changing your mindset towards health. When we think of health, we think of what? Food mostly, or weight, exercise, bodily functions, vitamins. All of these things tie into one another. And it's so important that you understand when you say men's health, oh, you're not talking about am I feeling sick today, but your overall health, to include your financial health, to include your health of how you engage in other relationships with other people. And even one of our topics on that we're planning on talking about is police interaction. As we've seen in the last year, especially for African Americans or people of color, interacting with the police, we need to know how, for our health, we need to know how we can do that without it ending in a, what's the word I'm looking for? In tragedy. In tragedy. So here are some of the topics that we're planning on talking about on June the 5th. Nutrition and diabetes. You know, African American community is hit with diabetes kind of hard.
Yes.
That diabetes is one of the main causes for it is our nutrition or lack of exercise and so forth and so on. So that's the reason that's tying in. We have a guest speaker who's going to be speaking on the coronavirus. Right now we're on the governor just passed the no mask. So that doesn't mean that corona is over with. So we're going to have someone telling us why we need to get out and take that shot if you haven't taken it already. Mental health. We have someone speaking on mental health. As the African American community goes, that's one of those hush things in the corner that we really don't talk about as far as mental health or going out and seeking someone professionally to talk to.
Steve, I want to take a pause right there, and because it's so important. First of all, I work with special kids, and I got to say that to say what I'm gonna say. I was in one of our stores, and there was a African American male, and he was in a corner in the corner of the store, and he was having a breakdown, or either a meltdown, whichever one. But he was having an issue, and everybody was walking over to him asking questions. What's your name? What do you need? I mean, the normal questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what he needed
At that time.
right then. So what I did was I took baskets and I put them all around him to build a barrier.
Mm.
That barrier made him safe because we couldn't go over there, approach him. So that barrier made it safe for him to finish his breakdown until 911 comes. We need to know that. We at that point, everybody like, why? What are you doing? And I didn't say what I was doing because I was busy doing what I was doing. Mm-hmm. After it, I explained. I only know that because I work with the kids I work with. But the point is, he would have lashed out on one of them because at that point, they were invading his space. But at the same point, they were trying to help.
Right.
That happens quite often. And we need to address that because the only way I knew it is because of what I do. But the thing is, I put the baskets there. He was allowed to quietly finish his breakdown. And I explained what I was doing, and it looked weird. I admit that, but I didn't have, it did. Mm. We need to know those things because, like I said, if the police were there, he'd have got shot because they would have approached him. So he would have got shot, and it would have been like not okay that he got shot, but nobody would have said anything or did anything because they said he approached me. Right. So you're very true about the mental health part.
Definitely. I'll come back to that when I get down to this last topic. Mm-hmm. But some other topics we're planning on discussing are colon and prostate cancer and the need for African American men definitely to get that prostate exam, get that colorectal exam, go ahead and take that colonoscopy, get those tests done. I had to do one here in the last year, and it wasn't the best thing in the world, but once you become age 45, I may repeat some of this later on, but age 45 is the new age that they're saying you need to get that colorectal exam, 45 and up. And if you have a family history of it, you might need to start at 35, 40. Chapman Bozeman, did I get the name?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Name correct? Get those type of things checked out early because if you have a family history of it, it may affect you sooner than later. Blood pressure and your sexual health, those go hand in hand. So men, I know, hey, they're talking about sex at this thing. We're talking about men's health. Your blood pressure affects your performance and your overall sexual health. We are planning on having lunch for you if you're there. We're working on getting a local establishment here, African American establishment, to support us for that. So come out for that great lunch. That's going to be healthy. We're going to use a local establishment. We'll surprise you with the name of it once we get there. We're going to have a podiatrist talk to us about your feet and the importance of foot health. You walk on your feet all day, every year, and most men probably haven't seen a podiatrist in their lifetime.
That's true.
Probably haven't gotten a manicure. I mean, not manicure, but a pedicure. Pedicure at all. You're on your feet all the time. They're inside of shoes all the time, inside of socks, sweating and so forth. Well, I wash my feet all the time. But are you really paying attention to how your feet are doing? Are your feet swelling or your feet aching? This will cause other effects within the body.
Okay, Steve. Actually, Terry. As far as feet, who should really, really, really pay attention to your feet?
diabetes.
Thank
People with diabetics. People with diabetes that are diabetics. Being prior military, certain things we were taught, and on my way out, they were doing better about how often we need to change our sneakers because we run. We went from running 3 days a week to 5 days a week, plus if we in the field or whatever.
Running in boots.
Yeah, there's some for the military folk. I'm using acronyms, civilians. PCCs and PCIs, pre-combat checks, pre-combat inspections before you go out and do anything. So this we talking about with men's health. Certain things we need to check. If you're diabetic, they want you to check it at least twice a day. Some is 3 times a day, morning, noon, and evening. So same thing when you take your shower or your bath, check your feet. And if you don't know how to check it, come on out on June the 5th at Post 3892 VFW in Harker Heights, Texas. 9 o'clock.
Because some people don't know there's a connection with feet and diabetes.
No, they don't.
No. Other things we're going to be talking about is some things you can do at home as far as working out. We got a good idea that we can possibly share with you some things that you can do even on a daily basis while you're just sitting there watching television. We're going to talk about financial health. We're going to talk about police interaction, going back to what you had just stated earlier. That young man that was in the corner, had the police shown up and he saw them and he saw the gear on them, he in the state that he was in, you're right, it could have ended tragically.
Yeah.
But the police need to understand how to interact with people who are going through a mental situation, as well as just regular customers walking around. Oh, he's having a breakdown. Let's give him some distance, like you did. Put the barrier around, not in a bad way or a rough way,
Yeah.
because that would scare the person within themselves. But just, hey, give them some space. Give them some space. And then the last thing we're going to end up with is civic actions. Here, what can we do locally here in the community? But I'll give you that so you can see those topics if you just want to talk on them for a little bit. And we have some other things as well. Men's Health Month, I went online and there was a suggestion of 5 plays that men can do to stay on top of their game. You can protect your heart by eating more fruits and vegetables and half of what you've already been eating. Because we know as Americans, we kind of overeat a little bit when we go out. 2, you can get fit. 30 minutes a day of exercise. We know we can walk, and I've walked all day. Just take another 30 minutes and go walking. Preventive medicine, or preventive maintenance, back to those PCCs and PCIs. Get those checkups that you need. One that we don't have on this year's list is dental. Your dental health affects the rest of your body. Cavities, ended up having sores in your mouth that you haven't gone to see a dentist about. That can cause severe problems down the road. Number 4, quitting. Quit smoking is one of the things that could help you out. Quitting smoking, or should I say smoking, causes cancer, heart disease, stroke, and a greater risk of erectile dysfunction. Again, there you go with that sexual health, understanding that. The last thing that I have here for the 5 different plays that men can do, life can get tough, and thinking things through with a mental health professional can help. So sometimes if you don't think that you need to go see a doctor, you might need to go see a doctor. And I looked up some stuff online that said there's like 14 different things that affect mental illness. And let me see here. Some of these things caught me off guard.
Wow.
Mental health, mental illness symptoms, and this came from Simply Health Today. 14 frequent symptoms of mental health illness. Listen to these and see if any of these might hit you. Obesity, fatigue, chronic pain, ticks. Not the ticks you get in the woods, but bodily ticks.
Yeah. Uncontrollable
Uncontrollable movements. Sinus problems, nausea, weight loss, headaches, skin irritation, cavities, back to that dental thing, adrenal rushes or anxiety, jaw pain, back to that dental thing, sweating profusely at times where you know, okay, I'm not working out, all of a sudden I'm just breaking into a sweat. Swelling, your body's just swelling up and you don't know why. I'm not saying that these are things that's saying that you have some type of mental illness. These are just symptoms of. So you may need to talk to someone.
Now, while all that's soaking in or sinking in, those that's prior military or have been around the military know that we get checked out every year. But once you transition out, it's on you. I'm guilty of it. I had to learn the hard way. I had a support team that made sure and asked questions because they knew that I didn't know. So us coming together, putting this Men's Health Fair, we're on Facebook, Men's Health Fair 2021. If you have questions, you can send it to us there. We want you to be mind conscious and aware of what's going on with your body. Most importantly, with all these topics we got, there's plenty more out there. June is Men's Health Awareness Month, and we would like to try to get this. Hopefully, this pandemic will be totally over, almost near, if not. That we can do this annually or every other year, so we can get together and expand on what we're doing. Physicals, if you're in the VA, contact your primary care. If you have civilians, contact your doctor about. And those of you that have health insurance, that's a part of your annual thing that you're supposed to do anyway. If you didn't know, I'm here to tell you, I found it the hard way. And if you're unable to go to the doctor's office, if it's in your health plan, they will have someone come out to your house and do the assessment, draw your blood and all that good stuff in the privacy of your own home. Again, check with your health care provider or insurance to see what's going on. But one thing leads to another, that leads to another, that leads to another. If it's unchecked, unmonitored, those are diabetic, you know certain things you're not supposed to eat. Those of us that came up in the country, that'd be me. All this stuff that was good when I was like 10 or below, now that I'm over 35, it's not so good no more.
So wait a minute.
Can't have no Twinkies every day.
So
no Twinkies, no Ho-Hos, no ding dong.
You can't have them like whenever you want to.
Moderation. One thing I was taught was moderation. So if you have one every 6 months, that might be all right. But I'm not a provider. I can only say what works for me.
Yes.
Moderation.
So wait a minute, hold up.
And portion control.
Some of our fruits we love.
Yes, I was going to talk.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about that as well.
Go ahead, Steve.
Some people have habits that were instilled into them when they were children. Mm-hmm. Like not overindulging in sweets, what you were just speaking of. Not eating a lot of candy, cakes, pies, even fruit. Yes, even fruit.
Even fruit.
Now you're going to mention, I know what fruit you're going to mention. But you got to be careful of some of these sugary fruits that are out there that we think, oh, I'm eating fruit, it's good. And you have a big bowl of
grapes.
Big bowl of grapes.
Not the grapes.
I'm sorry, but the grapes.
There's nothing wrong with grapes. They turn into raisins. Raisins are good for you.
Portion control, moderation.
They're sugary. What were you going to say about those grapes?
Yeah, you can only have 5. I'm sorry.
Only 5?
I thought it was 3. Okay, I'm good now.
Have 5. Okay, let's get on. Let's talk about another dessert.
Another dessert.
Yeah. You know, those bag of potato chips. How many calories in the bag of potato chips, Steve?
Oh, I don't know how many's in
It's
the bag
160.
Okay.
How many can you have?
2.
You can only have 140.
I'm talking about 2 chips.
No, you can only have 140. So that 160, that whole bag,
yeah,
you can only have 140 calories of that 160 in that bag of chips. Figure
so
that one out.
We got to do inventory on the chips, and then okay, got to throw away 5 chips at least. Yeah.
So I can't eat that whole bag of Ruffles anymore. Now, as a kid, I ate that whole bag of
Well,
Ruffles.
see, as a kid, you was running around in the street.
Run around and doing
You know,
everything.
you played with Mother May I, red light, green light, 2 square.
You know, we went out the house, or for me,
Now the only square you play is the kitchen square.
that's it. See, for me, once you eat breakfast, you go outside and you don't come back
Right. See,
until the sun go down.
Right.
I'm glad you all said that. That's a good segue to where I'm going to next.
Uh-oh.
What you
Since
got?
we're talking about food.
Yes.
Brings me to 2 things, but I'm going to jump on that going outside and playing.
Mm-hmm.
As African Americans, we know we're dark skinned and we get, guess what, from the sun?
That
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
When you were a kid, you were outside running in the sun all the time.
Mm-hmm.
As you get older, what happens? You
You
go
don't
into, the only time you see the sun, if you're lucky, you leave out in the morning, you might get a little sunshine on your skin if you're not in long sleeves or something.
Right.
When you leave work, you come out of the building,
Mm-hmm.
you might get some sunshine there,
Right.
and then you go inside your house. Do you get any more sunshine?
Nope.
So a lot of us, as we get older, we become vitamin D deficient.
Right.
Because we're not getting that sunshine anymore. And the importance of vitamin D is, without saying, very important. Vitamin D acts on our bones, our intestines, kidneys, our thyroid glands, and to keep on our thyroid glands in order to keep our calcium in balance throughout the day. So if you add not getting enough vitamin D and then I'm not drinking my milk, where are you getting your calcium? Where are you getting your vitamin D from?
That's true.
So eventually you're going to become vitamin D deficient, which leads, as we're talking about these vitamins and all of that, into iron. Recently had a friend of mine had to be hospitalized and get a blood transfusion because their iron was not just low, but low,
Oh.
way low to get a blood transfusion.
Mm.
And because of that, they felt fatigued all the time. They
Yep.
were complaining about that weakness,
Mm-hmm.
pale skin, chest pains, fast heartbeat. These
Right.
are just symptoms of having low iron deficiencies.
That's right.
Headaches, dizziness, cold hands, inflammation and soreness. Sounds like I'm back on the battlefield talking about
You own it.
brittle nails,
Right.
unusual craving for non-nutritious substances such as ice, even starchy foods,
Right.
poor appetite, especially iron deficiency is usually found in children, but poor appetite, especially if it's an infant or children, that causes anemia.
And while you in iron, a lot of people won't take iron tablets
Right.
because they cause constipation.
Mm.
But I'm going to tell you, if you find an holistic iron tablets, which they do have, you will never know. You won't have any problem.
Holistic iron
But
tablet.
there are some tablets that are complete vegetarian
Okay.
that won't cause you to have the constipation. Because a lot of people know their iron is low, but they're going, I ain't taking that because you know what's going to happen. Well, no, there are holistic, all vegan, all vegan, they're all healthy, iron tablets that you can take that won't cause those side effects that some people with iron problems know. So there is stuff they can do when they're scared to take that iron tablet because that fear would be real.
Definitely. Causes for this iron deficiency could be blood loss through ulcers or things like that that are inside your body. A lack of iron in your diet. You know if you're eating iron foods with iron. Oh, I don't eat meat. Okay, you're missing a good source of where iron comes from. Where are you going to get that iron from? Eggs, leafy greens. You were talking about being in the country, and I was just talking to a friend of mine that when I was growing up, my grandmother had the big farm out the back. Every day we had something from the field. So we were getting these vitamins on a daily basis. I mean, when the last time you had a rutabaga?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. I've never
And
eaten
that
one
because
of
I
those.
was home in
I
South Carolina.
never
You
had
were
one of those.
When's the last time you ate a turnip? The not turnip greens, but the actual turnip itself. Liver.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
That's
going
a great source of iron.
yes.
I know people say, well, you can get it from that steak. Yeah, but we know that
Nothing
red
like-
meat is not always the
No, everything in moderation.
everything.
Everything.
Well, you said the steak thing, and
Uh-oh.
I don't eat beef at all.
Okay.
And the one thing we need to remember about that lovely steak,
Takes
takes
some
your
up.
body 5 days to get rid of it, and by then it's rotten. I'm just saying,
Okay.
for the
Okay.
steak lovers. I'm not telling you don't eat it, but that's what your body and steak. That's how they work together. But wait, Steve, go back. Yep, you all gonna do breakfast shakes? What the world is that about?
Oh, yeah, I left that off.
Yeah,
Oh.
what's that about?
Well, we understand and we've grown up, especially if you're as old as I am.
Oh,
I'm a little older than 35, too.
He said a little older. Really?
A little
Well,
older.
we not telling them that.
We probably could reverse those numbers.
So Steve, not me.
But we're hoping to show you a wonderful shake that you can make at home quickly and start your breakfast off with a quick shake that you don't have to load it down with that Starbucks. I hate to call Starbucks out,
Well, that's okay.
but I go there every day, so they get my money.
Do you know how much sugar that is in
I
this
know.
coffee?
You see, I'm quiet. I learned. He's still learning.
See, he gonna make me bust him out in a couple of minutes.
No.
I'm gonna talk
Breakfast,
about it. Yes.
You can eat like a king in the morning. Eat like a prince
Right.
at lunch,
Yeah.
and eat like a what at dinner? A pauper.
That's right.
So have those early calories in the morning to get you through the day.
You not been doing the wrong thing. Oh my.
You're supposed to do a shake in the morning, and you can put all of your Steve said iron, where you can put your greens in the shake.
I do my green juice.
No. You make a shake. It's healthier.
That's why I'm going to the men's health fair so I can learn how to make that.
Okay.
And then I don't have to buy it already pre-mixed with all the extra
That's
stuff in it that I
There
don't
you go.
need.
Yeah, and it's fast.
But that's the reason we're going to do the shake, so people like yourself, Miss Phyllis, can show us how to make that green shake that tastes
Tastes good.
good.
It does.
I was going to say
I'm gonna need your
palatable.
recipe, Miss Phil, so I can try it out before
It's good.
before June the 5th.
Fifth.
And you know what? They were laughing at me because I drink hemp milk.
Nothing wrong with hemp milk.
Well, see, Steve
I've never heard of drinking
Steve
hemp.
never heard of hemp milk.
HEB is your
So,
friend.
so he was thinking hemp.
Yes,
Not
I
that
was.
one. Not that one. Not that one, my brother.
Wait
Not
a minute,
that one.
hold on. Even if it was, it would be good for you.
True. Wow. We got you, Steve. We got you. We got you.
Hey,
Steve was like,
educate
hey.
me.
Steve was like, is it legal? Hold up, wait a minute.
We're not in Colorado.
If, like I said, if it was the other hemp, it would still be healthy.
Okay.
But
okay.
it would be.
But yes, we're gonna have that breakfast shake and show you ways of making it that you can do at home if all you need is a blender.
Yes.
And that way you can start your day off getting these vitamins that we're talking about that you need, and hopefully taking out some of those things that you don't need. As you get older, we know carbs are kind of a bad thing. You eat all
Not
that
our
bread.
friend.
Eating that bread probably won't do you very well if you're always eating some type of
Noodles, too.
noodles as well.
Ramen, especially.
But that baked potato in the evening that turns to what?
Sugar.
Sugar.
As you go to sleep.
Yes.
Yes, I know you want that big baked potato with all the
works.
She's the works. She just told me I can't have beef on top of it. So
No.
Put chicken on top of it.
Now,
It got to be a small one.
And also, if you got to eat that baked potato, eat it by 11 o'clock.
again,
In the
eat like that-
morning.
eat in the morning.
Give yourself an hour at noon for those at work. You know.
Yeah.
Don't have that baked potato at 8 o'clock at night because you're out
No.
at the steakhouse and it looks great.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. And that's what come into meal prepping as well.
Yes.
If it's already halfway done or almost done, all you gotta do is heat it up real quick.
Also, we need to learn to meal prep. Okay. And we also men, I want to challenge you all while y'all at the men's fair. Talk about yourself. That's something we won't do. Okay, me, I'll admit, yes, I am a diabetic. How I found out my diabetes, my number was, I had a, my number was 1800. So it went from nowhere to 1800. They don't know how. Yeah, it did. I lived, of course, anyway. I shouldn't have, they told me. But I don't mind talking about my own health because I can't talk to you and you about it and won't talk to myself or explain it. So yes, I was
So
a
I can be
diabetic when I
in your
left.
shoes, would understand where you're coming
There you
from.
go.
I understand.
I sat and I read about diabetes, even though I knew about it because my mother was one. But I made sure that Phyllis wasn't going to be tied to an insulin. No, Phyllis wasn't going out that way. So I did what I needed to do, and I still do to take. But I need to talk about yourselves because that's one our fear. Our fear is we'll talk about. Oh yeah, this. What about you? Well, you know what? The best way to solve an issue as far as health is to talk about it out loud. Talking to yourself does no good. Talking to you, unless you're talking out loud to yourself. If you're talking out loud to you, you'll be fine. If you're talking just to the internal you, you're not going to do it.
Right, you're not me. You're. I understand totally what you're saying because some of the engagements I go to speak, I like it, the subject or where I'm going to be something that I'm familiar with, and I always give one of my stories.
Right.
A lot of folks hear me say I'm from the country or back home. This is how we did it. But when you fast forward it, it's the same way, just a different method of getting to the objective. Right. But in order to reach who we talking to, you're right, Phyllis. We got to tell them what we've been through, what we went through. For me, like I did come down with the COVID, but I had pneumonia as well. And so once I read the paper, because they didn't tell me, I had pneumonia. They said I had inflammation in the lungs. But when I got my checkout discharge papers, it said pneumonia. So I need to see the doctor because I've had it, whereas one lung is 100% and the other one's 98. And I did not feel that way back in January. And when I talked about your numbers being stressed and high blood pressure, my blood pressure was up. I'm like, I'm sick. That's why my numbers almost didn't hit 1800. I think I was almost 300 or 400. And that bottom number on your blood pressure was not supposed to be what? Over like 80. 75 or 80. Yeah, I was like 100 and something. But I love Scott and White. They took good care of me.
Did he say that?
Yeah, I love them. They took care of me. They took care of me from my car accident. So when they put my name in, because I was coughing so much I couldn't talk, I just showed them my insurance card. They put my name in, and everybody's eye got big and came and yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how I feel. We need to talk about ourselves and our health. And I'll say, not to put Steve on blast, but Steve came in, he's walking with a cane. Immediately, I went to an herb that he could take. Bam! Not because I'm trying to be mean or cruel, but because it's an herb that I use and a couple of people I know use. So we went straight there. Hey, listen, have you tried? It wasn't, you better try. Hey, have you tried this? We need to do those things too.
Give people
because
options.
We need to, first of all, get people off living prescriptions.
Right.
But we also, when we see each other with issues, we need to feel comfortable enough to say, hey, have you tried this? And they say no. Oh, okay. Well, this. We need to do those things because men don't do it. Women would do it in a heartbeat, but men don't really get into that.
No, we don't, and like you said, we don't share our personal experiences. Since you brought that up, back I teach, and we were doing spring break. That first Sunday, I went to get out of bed. I didn't get out of bed. Went to get out of bed, and my arthritis in my knees were so severe that I could not walk. Right. Till the next morning when I went to the doctor, they did the x-rays and everything, came back and said that you have severe arthritis in your knees. So I started doing my research. Okay, what's causing this?
Right.
And started looking up foods that cause inflammation. Well, one of my foods is I love salads. I love tomatoes in my salad. I grew up eating tomatoes all the time.
Acid.
And yes, found out about the acid causes inflammation of arthritis, and I was like, oh. Yeah, I had a pretty big salad the other night. I had my tomatoes. So once you find out about the purpose of this health fair is telling men such things like that, foods that could cause inflammation. And you're wondering why is my arthritis acting up? Well, I didn't know tomatoes was a correlation. And there's several other foods out there that have acid in it that cause, but for me it was tomatoes.
Right.
Understanding your blood pressure, you brought that up. Your blood pressure, they said the average should be around 120/80.
Yeah.
Well, most of us have, if you've been in the military at all, you're probably right at that 130/ something else.
No comment. That's it.
You're a little above that 120. For a long time, if you're in the military on active duty, you're probably doing just great because you're running every day. You're getting the exercise. But once you retire, like you said, if you're not still doing a daily exercise, that 30 minutes a day that we just talked about, your blood pressure may be creeping up there and you don't know it.
Right.
5-6 years from now, well, I never had it checked. We're going to have someone there on June the 5th between 9:30 and 11 to check your blood pressure so you'll at least know where you are. And knowing, as the saying goes for G.I. Joe, is half the battle.
That's true.
That's it.
It's really only 10%. Once you know, you got to do. And do is sometimes that hard part.
And, you know, our health and our eating is also, what you want to say, has a lot to do with where you came from. And what I mean is this, okay, me, I am 100% devout Yankee. I am. But when I went back to Texas, and somebody asked me, went out to eat, actually. And because some people I had met was, showing you killeen.
Mm-hmm.
So this lady and her husband ordered chicken fried steak. My brain was like, what the world is that? I'm like, that sounds like a heart attack food. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, forget this. What is that? So it was explained to me. You want now? And then I saw the menu said fried chicken. What the world is that? How you going chicken fried chicken? And I'm thinking, no, don't want that either. So I ordered something else. And when I got the order, okay, first of all, I hate salt. I hate it. And I don't like it. I hate it. If you give me something and I taste salt, I'm going to push it away. I don't want it. Anyway, I ordered something, and what did it have on it? Salt. And I said, hey, listen, can you cook this with no salt? So I got the look of, I don't know what. They looked at me like I had landed off some planet. And I'm like, hey, listen, I hate salt. So the waitress was real nice. She said, well, then you're in the wrong state. I'm like, what? She
Really?
said, you're in the wrong state. Why? She said, because, she said, in Texas, we use salt. I looked at her like, oh, okay. And I took what she said to heart. And but she did take my food back, and she brought it back with no salt. And she stood there. She go, how's it taste? Great. And she's looking at me like, for real, seriously, you're. And I was like, yeah. She says, so, Northerners, do y'all use salt? Yes, we do, but not to where you taste it. And so as I've been here for a while, and I've been to some cookouts, I noticed that I need to eat before I get there, because that thing called salt, people tend to put it on their food before they taste it, and salt's our enemy. But I learned, and I'm like, no, I'm from somewhere we don't do that, such as we don't do iced tea. We have no clue what that really is. We do lemonade, but from where you're from has a lot to do with your eating habits. I had to learn what something was it I don't know, like it looks like a fried pancake. What is that? Whatever that is.
Hot water cornbread.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Yeah. And the principal I had before, her mother made them, and she was like, "Oh, everybody got to taste them." I looked at them like, I don't know.
Praise Lord.
So what I'm saying is, sometimes we have to look for where we're from. It's not good or bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but sometimes how we were raised due to where we're from becomes our eating issue when we become adults. And as much as we say no, we think back, yeah, it is. So we need to sometimes curtail not what we eat, but how we're eating it.
You can definitely modify it. What you're doing, you got to do the research, do a little sampling, because Because, I'm from the South. We believe in putting smoked meat in
Everything.
just about everything. Yeah, and it's not, no.
Sausage in the green, sausage in
Oh, that's a new one right there. I might need to try that.
Don't.
The sausage in the green?
No.
You be good. But I'm learning with people that's going to school to be a chef that I've came up with the smoked meat, all part of the pig, smoker fresh, is in the pot. And it was like, for nowadays, who we are and where we're at in our age, we can't eat all that.
You can eat it, you just cook it differently.
Well, here, I'll say me, we're going to do the I statement. I can use 4, 5, 6 different pieces, and I'll get it almost, but I've learned the trick with different seasonings. Non-MSG seasonings, by the way, I got to add that in.
Oh,
MSG and salt goes together.
Oh, no.
And,
right. The kick MSG.
Yes, you got to kick MSG out.
Ooh.
Read the labels.
Ooh.
We don't have it this year, but that might be next year
I can
for
do
nutrition.
That. I can do that next year.
How to read the labels.
Yeah, I can do the kick MSG class.
See, we already got a volunteer instructor for next
because
year already.
I went to a whole class where we had to kick MSG, and they told you what it does to your body, and it does a lot of damage to us.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a brief segment of that one time, an introduction. I was sick, just listening. But it works. I'm still here. It works. But yeah, all of that. There's different ways to cook things. It'll be collard greens. I'm learned that you're not supposed to cook them all the way down until they shrivel up, because that you're losing your vitamins.
Thank you.
And so when my mom was living, I would go home, and when I smell it almost ready, I would go and I just skim off top of the pot and put mine to the side. She was like, "It's not done." I'm like, "It's done for me. I'm good."
Actually, it's done.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So one more time before we go, Steve, where and when?
Where and when? Again, June 5th at the VFW Post 3892 in Harker Heights. It's located at 201 VFW Drive, Harker Heights, Texas, 76548. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come out and join us. You can find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Men's Health
Fair 2021.
Men's Health Fair 2021. We would like for you to come out and just learn some things. Some things that you can do to observe men's health are?
Tweak your diet, set some goals, get educated.
That's it.
Google
Tweak your diet.
Google is our friend sometimes.
Yes, it is. And the information that you've heard me quoting facts from, I got it from cdc.gov. I've gotten it from Mayo Clinic, and one from, I can't think of the name of it, drugs.com, from a pharmacist who wrote an article on vitamin D. So if you heard me quoting any of these facts, it came from a reputable source. You can also go to menshealthweek.org. Menshealthweek.org, as we celebrate June Men's Health Month. Sir?
And if you get lost on that morning,
there you go.
and you can't get us, the number to the post is 254-213-3350. Again, on the morning of the 5th, 254-213-3350. It's on Veterans Memorial Boulevard as you're going towards Nolanville. So if you're coming from Killeen, take the Indian Trail exit, make a left, go all the way down to Veterans Memorial, make a right, go through the light. You will see our big sign said VFW 3892 this way. You make a left and come on in. We have a good time and educate and share and breakfast, shake it up, and eat a healthy lunch and fellowship and share. And hopefully this will be a jump off for 2022. Thank you, Ms. Phillips, for volunteering. Yes. I know you got some more friends out there that some subject matter experts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because next year y'all going to add Kick MSG, and I'll bring Kleenex for that one.
Yeah,
because there's some restaurants you will no longer be able to eat at. In Killeen, because there's a restaurant you go to, and all they serve, everything they make, except for drinks, has MSG in it.
Yeah, somebody got to look already.
And we're going to do a pledge next year, because we're going to kick 5 items. Everybody going to pledge to kick 5 items of MSG.
So not the whole restaurant, just 5 hours.
No. The restaurant's got to go.
I want you to give us a challenge to at least try to do one.
No. Yeah, we're adults.
One this year.
Oh, one this year? Okay.
I'm going to wait till next year.
Okay, all right. Okay, gotcha.
Look for the month of June.
Okay, month of June.
Give up something.
Okay, one challenge. One. Oh, you want me to name the food?
Name the food.
No ranch dressing.
I got you. I'm with you.
No ranch dressing and no
ranch dressing.
No ranch dressing.
So my wings can't have no ranch.
You have to learn how to modify.
Y'all Steve looked like that little kid who got told he couldn't have a lollipop.
Oh, I can't have no sweet potato pie.
He said give him one.
Well, he did.
Okay.
I gave him one.
Be careful to ask Miss Phyllis, brother.
That's the one that make you cry. You be like, no way. No who?
Sing.
Come on.
So that don't even order the wings.
Get them baked, not fried.
There's other things you can add.
Air fried. There's little ranch seasoning. You gotta look at the MSG.
Okay, I'm gonna give y'all two. No ranch dressing and no soy sauce.
Okay.
I
can do the soy sauce and the ranch. I'm good.
Steve isn't, because now he's got to
I'm gonna be
his wings.
From off the, I think the South Park or one of them cars. I'm gonna be his accountability buddy and check in on him to make sure.
Because he's gonna have to find something new to put on his wings.
Yeah.
Or Steve's gonna have to learn to make ranch dressing.
I wasn't trying to tell him that part. I was modify. Research, become a chemist. Do your own thing in the kitchen.
And quickly, what I'll tell you is this: MSG affects us all. MSG happens to you every day. When you're sitting if you're sitting at work or anywhere, and all of a sudden you want a Snickers, okay? Not a Hershey bar. You want a Snickers.
Specific.
That's because the MSG, your brain is telling you, I want what's in there. I want what's in there. In there has caramel. I want that. Okay, so you're not going to give it to your head. You're going to ignore that. I'm not giving it to you. Later, MSG is going to give you a headache. And there are days we have a headache. It'll be killing you. So you're going to eat this, and your head still hurt. Finally, you're going to eat what it said. It said Snickers. So you're going to eat it, and the headache disappears. That's control. That's MSG controls you. So your best way to beat it is don't give it to it, and eventually your mind will forget that it has it, and it will go away. But MSG is that control thing that hits you at 10 o'clock in the morning on the Snickers bar. You be like, no, I don't want one. I don't need it. I want one. Well, if you don't give it to me, I'm going to give you a headache. You're going to get the headache, and you're going to get that headache is going to get you, but the headache is just your mind and your MSG saying, this is what I asked for. You didn't give it to me. This is what you're going to get. You weighed it out, and your body will be just fine. But MSG controls what you eat, especially if it's something bad. Yes. So the 5th, all men know where to be. And you know what time to be there. You know to be there at 8:50.
I'm just to be on time.
Yes. So and I want to thank Terry and Steve. We had fun this morning.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Miss Phyllis.
Even though Steve can't handle our ranch dressing, it's okay.
I know.
I'm gonna hold out.
He said, I got this.
It's just a month, Steve.
No, she's saying for...
No. This is life.
This is life. She's saying for life.
I thought we started going slow.
No. She's telling me I need to learn how to make it. So, yes. Okay, yes.
Well, Steve, welcome to the family, Steve. Welcome to the family. Tough love.
And after the show is over, I'll let him know what restaurant I'm talking about.
Okay. The one I grew up with, probably.
I don't. Yeah, that's his Terry. Oh,
yeah, he had tears. I told you.
That's why he was crying.
Yeah, he had tears over here on that one.
I'm sorry, Steve.
I grew up with that. You don't understand.
I tried.
It's okay.
When it came out with the bake, rotisserie, whatever.
It's okay.
I still got to put your hand down. Nope.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
I got an air fryer. I'm good now. Secret herbs and spices.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Kids Community Connections this morning. I hope you learned a whole lot because there was some terrific information put out, and it's life-saving information. It's not information just to make you feel good. It's information to save your life. If you want to live to 150 like me, let's get on it. That's the only way we're going to do it is to take care of our health. However, we have to take care of your health. Remember, there's no sweet, quiet rules. There's no sweet, kind way. It's not that it's all hard. It's hard for you because you just don't want to do it. So thank you for listening to Kids Community Connections. I want you to remember you cannot lead a positive life with a negative mind. We'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye now.